Hello everyone, welcome to Anime No Me, and thank you for joining us for another One Piece video. Through the most recent chapters of One Piece, we've discovered that Law was defeated by Teach, and nearly had his fruit stolen if it weren't for Beppo taking one of Chopper's Rumble Balls. It was due to this improved formula that allowed Beppo to transform into a stronger and faster Sulong form, which allowed him to drag his captain into the water and escape with him to safety. So much like Kid, it's likely that Law's dreams of being able to find the One Piece treasure have been totally shattered. Law's entire crew has been destroyed, and the information that they had about the road poneglyphs are now in Teach's possession. The only thing that Law has left is the great hatred that he has for Teach, and this is going to motivate him to go after Teach and get his revenge for what he did to his crew. And this would allow Law to again make an alliance with the Straw Hats to be able to take on and defeat this powerful enemy. So in today's video, we're going to talk about the possibility of Law and Luffy once again becoming allies to be able to take on Teach, a great and powerful enemy that they both have in common and have serious unfinished business with. But before we dive into the video, if you're new to the channel, or even if you've watched a bunch of our videos, we'd be absolutely honored if you'd leave us a like and even subscribe and maybe leave us a comment letting us know what you thought of the video. It really helps us out, especially with that old YouTube algorithm, and it keeps motivating us to make more content. And if you'd like to help out the channel in a bigger way, consider sharing this video or another one of your favorites with a friend. But without further ado, let's get into the video. So my friends, Luffy is a great friend and companion and is always worried about the problems of those that are beside him, as in the case of the events what happened to Nico Robin and even what we saw happen to Sanji during the Whole Cake Island arc. But even though he's done these great deeds and acts for his crewmates, he's also almost lost his life for several other allies just to be able to complete his objectives, especially in the case of Trafalgar D. Water Law. Since their very first meeting, Law and Luffy have had a great and deep connection that's only grown with time. And since they have been in alliance, they've managed to defeat a great enemy that Law had known as Doflamingo. And it was through this that they managed to weaken Law and Luffy's ultimate main target, the Yonko Kaido. Throughout their journey in search of dethroning Kaido, Law and Luffy went through many difficulties and almost lost their lives several times, just so they could take on more powerful opponents that appeared in their paths. So once the alliance achieved their goal of dethroning Kaido at the end of the Wano arc, Law and Luffy decided to dissolve the alliance that they had. But even with this dissolution, Luffy still shows major concern for Law. After all, Teach has been causing some serious problems for his friends and family, including Law, Kobe, and even Garp. So Luffy's hatred for the Blackbeard pirates is going to grow even more, and he's going to want to go after him very soon. One of the things that we wonder though is where Beppo is going with Law, and we believe that Beppo is currently taking Law to safety and a location that will likely be the Straw Hats' next destination after they get away from Egghead Island. Or it could even be possible that Beppo will take Law to Egghead, causing them to have to get involved in this big mess with the Straw Hats and the Marines and everyone else that's showing up to try and take out Vegapunk. Even though Beppo and Law might be in kind of a bad way right now, their presence could be a help of immense importance. And even more so with the very powerful Marines that are already there, plus the pirates that Teach has sent and are approaching the island. And that's going to make this confrontation all the more important and potentially catastrophic. Now, this reunion or reestablishing of the alliance between Law and Luffy to defeat Teach may not happen right now or in the immediate future, because several other things are happening in the world of One Piece that could in fact change the trajectory of what's already taking place. So it's probably going to be only after everything on Egghead Island resolves that Law and Luffy will be able to unite again and to be able to organize themselves and find a way to take out the Blackbeard pirates. This could mean that the battle between the Blackbeard pirates and Luffy's crew and friends could cause an even bigger battle than what we saw during the Wano arc. A confrontation between the Straw Hats along with Law against Blackbeard's pirates, which also includes Kuzan, who became a captain of Teach's 10th ship. But if this were to happen, we would get to see again this incredible alliance between Luffy and Law, two very great pirates that already have a pretty deep bond between them because they respect each other and actually have some incredibly efficient teamwork together. Now, of course, the relationship between these two pirates goes all the way back to the Sabati Archipelago story, in which Law, Luffy, and Kid united to face the Navy after Luffy caused that huge mess at the slave auction house. And this even caused Kizaru to be summoned to arrest all the pirates that were in that location. A little while later, Law and Luffy's paths crossed again during the Marineford battle, where Law saved Luffy's life and formed an alliance to overthrow the Emperor Kaido and defeat the king of the underworld, Doflamingo. Since that time, the two have been through adventures on Punk Hazard, where they had the objective of destroying Kaido's weapons factory and having to fight with some Doflamingo pirates that were protecting that island. Through all of these triumphs and hardships, the two grew closer together and now have a deep trust and respect for each other. And this alliance that they made allowed Law and Luffy to get more powerful with the intense fights they had with other rivals. Once they managed to destroy Kaido's Smile Factory, Luffy and Law then went on to Dressrosa to finish off Doflamingo and further weaken Kaido, because Doflamingo was one of Kaido's main suppliers, as well as his contact in the underworld that was handling a lot of Kaido's business. During the Dressrosa arc, we saw multiple times where one was saving the other's life, such as when Luffy saved Law's life after he lost his fight against Doflamingo, or even when Law saved Luffy from being hit by Doflamingo using his teleporting powers in his room ability. And he was also able to teleport Luffy to different locations that favored him in combat. This duo really became something incredibly powerful, possessing a synchronicity that had never been seen in a fight, because Law and Luffy, both acting in individual ways, were able to favor the other during their fight in Doflamingo. And it even made Doflamingo quite angry and frustrated with both of them. One of the most striking phrases that clearly demonstrates the deep respect that Law has for Luffy, and also considers him a great ally, was when Law was defeated by Doflamingo and Luffy was alone fighting the king of the underworld. Law told the allies who were having to help him and asking him to leave the place that he would not run away from that confrontation, stating that if Luffy lost his life at Doflamingo's hands, he would be prepared to lose his life along with him. So ultimately, it was this alliance and the shared determination and courage of both Luffy and Law that brought down Doflamingo and ultimately brought his defeat, and thus weakened Kaido's combat forces a lot, making him become the next target of this duo. When it finally did come time to face Kaido, Law and Luffy together fought again to take on this powerful Yonko, as they had done with Doflamingo. Now, although the two had some disagreements during the match, nothing really got in their way of staying focused on their goal. After Law, Luffy, and Kid teamed up to defeat Kaido and Big Mom, the duo of Law and Luffy had to be separated, as leaving Kaido and Big Mom together would have made an impossible obstacle to defeat. So Law and Kid decided to attract Big Mom's attention inside Onigashima while Luffy alone faced Kaido. And the intense battle that this trio of the worst generation made ended up making them have to use their awakened devil fruits, causing a immensely great and epic duel against these two powerful Yonko. So from just that, we can see the amazing duo that Law and Luffy make. And now that Law has been defeated by Teach and had his dream of finding the One Piece completely destroyed after the Yonko wiped out his crew and stole all of his road poneglyph information, this could be the catalyst that brings Luffy and Law back together to again achieve that success and that goal of revenge together. Now let's be perfectly clear, we don't mean that Law will become a Straw Hat, but this catalyst, this situation is gonna allow this duo to come together again and fight together to achieve a goal in common, which is eventually to bring down Teach. So following that confrontation between Teach and Law, Law's crew was most likely captured by Teach, or at least some of his pirates. So it's gonna take the help of Luffy and the Straw Hats for Law to get his friends back and even continue their journey as pirates. Now we don't know exactly what would be the outcome between the Navy and the Blackbeard pirates that's taking place on Pirate Island, but it's likely that Teach is still gonna remain the owner of the island. Once the Straw Hats are able to escape Egghead Island and follow that, then we might see the Straw Hats team up again with Law to take over and successfully invade Fullaled Island and retrieve Law's crew. There's even a possibility that the Kuja pirates might even cooperate and throw their lot in this mission as well. Let's not forget that Teach was responsible for wreaking havoc on Amazon Lily and nearly took Hancock's life if it weren't for Rayleigh's intervention, and he managed to also scare those pirates and Navy off the island. So potentially, we could see an alliance between Boa Hancock, Law, Luffy, and even Rayleigh with the aim of attacking the pirate island, therefore taking out all the Blackbeard pirates and making Teach the main target of this alliance. So if Law is still alive and survives, that means that he's going to play a very big role in the future of the One Piece story, and even more so due to the peculiarity of his fruit that allows Law to leave his life so that he can make someone immortal. through that eternal youth surgery. And it could even turn out that at some point in the future, Law might be looking to save someone's life by using this very technique, and it might be the reason why he has kept himself alive this entire time. So with all that said, my friends, we'd now love to know what you think about it. First of all, do you think that we might get to see another epic team-up between Law and Luffy? And how do you think it might play out? Secondly, what do you think the overall goal is going to be? Do you think Law and Luffy are just going to team up to make it to the end and last island? Or do you think that they're really going to team up to go after Teach? Because they both have some serious business to settle with that black-bearded man. And finally, about the eternal youth surgery. What kind of situation could you imagine where we would see Law give up his life so that someone else could survive, or even become immortal? Let us know what you think about that and everything else in the comments below. So as we wrap up our video today, we'd like to thank you all so much for watching, especially those of you who've made it here to the very end. Be sure to comment on any themes or ideas that you'd like to see in future videos. And also, since you made it this far, give us a like and hit that subscribe button before you head out to take on the rest of your day. I can't wait to see you all in our next video. Let's keep sailing this giant sea together. Take care.